Right.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. I didn't know if you were feeling well or not, so not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to share again. Share the screen. Right. So, as we all know, when we participate, it's our way. It's not what we have been told we should be. So, all these thoughts and society type of thinking, it goes out of the window when we come here. All right. This is a blank canvas. This is you guys just no fixing, just no comparing. This is all a judgment-free zone. Now, that is something that we have to make sure we do. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you? And be honest. 7. 6. Let's see. Gotta find the chat here. Right. Let's see. It won't let me view the chat. Hold on. Like 15. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Anyone else? How tired do you feel? 1 to 10. Okay. So we're going to have a little game, each one of us. So if you can't talk, I want you to put the answer in the comment. It's no writing down, so you don't have to worry. Now, we're going to do this, no thinking. You have 1 to 2 seconds to come up with an answer. So the theme is we're going to create a story between the 6 of us. We're each going to say one word. Next person is going to carry on with the next word. It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy. It's going to be different. You can also use a dramatic voice. You can use however you want to talk, do it. You know, if you want to come out to a German accent, go for it. Okay. So the first word is space. Natasha. Heels. Next. Come on. Next person, just jump in.
I can't see who is the next person. Oh, space. Who's next?
Heels.
What's the sound?
Space, heels, soothing.
Infant.
Say that again.
Infant. Space. Yeah. Infant.
Infant. Okay. Michelle. So you've got breath, heel, soothing, infant. Okay, whoever signed in as Adila, can you also then, okay, my brain is dying, move on. Okay, so we've got space, heel, soothing, infant, and for the final word, type it in the comments if you can't speak. Okay, so we're going to say space, heel, soothing, infant. Now, that is different voices coming out with a sentence. It's messy. It's not thought about. Endless. There you go. It's not thought about. It's about getting rid of these normal things that society pushes on us to say, well, you've got to be doing this, or you've got to be doing it that way, and you have to write a certain way, and you have to voice your opinions a certain way. No, we have to mess it up for ourselves so that we can start reprogramming what we require as a writer. Because if we all sit in the same little box, we're putting more pressure on each other because we all learn differently. So if we have one culture that's saying you have to have this hustle culture and you have to be doing X, Y, and Z throughout the day, That might not suit your lifestyle. So we can't have this one narrative saying, well, Natasha has to be doing this and, Michelle has to be doing that. But it all has to be the same because you're not allowed to be different. That's what they're trying to tell us to do. And as I've said, we all learn different. I work at a very unusual pace in the sense of I will multitask. So I could be writing a fancy book one moment and then writing some legal documents in another. That's how my brain works. And there's no rights and wrongs, but I was brought up like you. This is exactly what you need to be. You have to be in this box. And if you draw outside that line, you're breaking the rule. And that is not what this is about. So tell me something, what you guys have learned since you've started writing, what pressure are you finding on yourself? What is the number one thing that you are finding that doesn't fit your box? Anyone? I cannot work daily, writing thousands of words. Yes. Anything else?
The inefficiency. One day you 1,000%, the next day you 0 and you KO, can't do anything. That.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, we're humans. We're all human beings. And we all have different ways of learning, different ways of functioning, and we all have different things that happens in our lives. From being a parent to being in a full-time position and being a parent, or someone who, like myself, who is medically retired because of my health, we all have our own little baggage. So how can we expect ourselves to be a hustle culture? How can you expect yourself to be this superhuman being that just functions on caffeine and no sleep? It's not sustainable. You might be able to do it for a week, if that, but what's going to happen? Your body's going to shut down. You're going to be very tired. You're going to get sick. You're going to get grumpy, irritable, the whole 9 yards. Now, I have a particular smell. I did, and that was for 1 month, and I was finished. Exactly. And to recover from that, especially if you have lots going on already, you're never recovering. You're constantly on catch-up. And then that just amounts to everything. And then you're not sleeping right because it's all in your head. And you're like, well, I haven't done this today. I haven't done that today. So you get lack of sleep. You keep on piling this stuff onto your already busy life. And why are you doing it? Because the outside world is telling you that's what you need to be if you are a writer. You need to be this type of person. And you don't. You can give yourself to be yourself. Right. Guilty, yes. Think of it like this. You know when you go to gym and you will do legs one day, arms one day, training, you've got like a whole regime, but you have to have a rest day, right? Because your muscles need to recover. It's the same as your brain. Now, I'm talking from experience. I have an aneurysm in my brain. So I can only do so much before I start getting a smell in my head, like an electrical smell. And that is due to the aneurysm because I've pushed my brain a bit too far and it causes pressure. So feeling guilty about taking time for rest, that is what the world has told us we should be doing. Especially as women, we are told you have to be the mother, the homekeeper, everything like this. And don't get me wrong, men also have a lot of pressures. So any guys watching this, I see you, I totally get it. So don't come for me and, all this. But talking about this as a woman's perspective from myself, when I lived in London, I would be up at 4:30 in the morning, leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning, getting home at 8 o'clock at night, still writing on top of that with a child. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And because we'll have a lot of international writers coming into our space, and they're like, I've just done this. I've just written 5 books, and I'm doing these like events, and I'm out there and I'm doing all this PR work. No, you're showing up. You have a team in the background that's doing all the grunt work. And that's what people don't see. You see what is on the screen. You will see somebody saying, well, oh my God, they got like so many followers, and their promo video is like so amazing, and they're getting so many likes and so many comments. One, you don't know what they're doing in the background. They could be spending thousands on ads. They could be having a PR agency running their social media. These are the things people don't see, but people naturally just assume, because it's someone's personal TikTok account, their author account, that they are naturally doing this. And most of the time, a lot of them aren't, especially if they've got to a certain level. They will not be doing their own stuff. So when it comes to comparing yourself to these types of people that are doing the side hustle culture, 9 out of 10, they're not. They're saying they are, and they're like, fake it till you make it, and do this and fake this. And listen, it's a load of nonsense. It is nonsense. It is there for them to get a bigger following. So they can say, well, look what I did. If I can do this, you can do this. And they put this thing out there to the world that, well, if I'm this person, you can be this person. Follow me and I'll give you advice, and I will show you how to do this, and I'll show you how to write. Brilliant. I'm happy that you are at the level you are. That's amazing. But it's not sustainable for normal, average indie author writers. It's not sustainable. You're going to burn out, and you're going to burn out pretty quickly. And you're also going to fall out of love with your craft, because you're putting all of this pressure on about taking a day off, about not having hit so many words a day. Writing a sentence is an achievement. And as we spoke about it last week, about how many people in your circle, in your tight circle, are authors and that are doing this. They're not. So you have to give yourself a break. It's like any job. You can't go at something 100 miles an hour and expect nothing to break. It's like a washing machine. You keep on putting your washing in, but you never take it out. You keep on loading it, loading it, loading it. What happens? It breaks. It's the same as the human body. We are only able to function at certain high tense levels for a really short space of time. And the burnout is real. Unfortunately, on social media, most people don't talk about it. And that's the sad truth. Now, my journey from when I was diagnosed long ago, I was out there in tears, snorting trauma, and because I was like, this is me. I'm not going to turn up here all shiny and happy if I'm having a crap day. People fall in love with the true you. And the more you are true to yourself, the more they will want to invest in buying your book. And the more they will want to be your biggest cheerleaders. But when you are spilling out a narrative that I'm the side hustle, and I'm the boss babe, and I'm the madam, and I'm the Mr. Man, and I do this, and I bugger off to Dubai, and I'm off to New York. Really? Are you really? If you are, kudos. But if you're not, and you are talking rubbish, you're going to get caught out. And that, unfortunately, then gives the rest of us indies a pretty bad light because they're not talking their truth. And people want to buy people. Now, if you're not a big corporation, you kind of got to sell yourself. You've got to come in there and say, I really can't be bothered writing, but, you know, I've got a kid and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And it's like, do I spend more time with my child or do I go and sit in the office and write? You spend time with your child, because not only is that going to bring you joy, it's going to give you that break in the writing, and it's going to most probably be better when you come back to it. And that's what people don't understand. People are like, there's this, it's been going on for over a decade, and I've noticed it massively because when I lived abroad, and it's all about fake it till you make it, side hustle, you know, talk rubbish, just keep on faking it. Doesn't work. I've seen it. It's not good. Creative resource, little humans. Exactly. Today, I went out, I walked with my friend, we went to the beach, we walked to another place, and just from doing that, I was so recharged and so like, I could see my characters in the beach. I could see them dancing across rocks. You know, it gets your head moving, you know what I mean? So having that break actually does so much more for you than trying to push through. Because when you push through, you're only coming back with half of the work that you would normally put out. And then you've got to go and redo it again. So you're spending even more time. So if you have taken that break, you've actually spent less time taking that break than if you have to come back and redo it. Right? So let's see. So out of these sentences, which one resonates the most with you? You guys see them? Yes, the shower definitely has good ideas, for sure. Definitely. The last two, okay. I feel guilty resting instead of writing. I thought I should have been monetizing already. Yes, and I understand that, especially if you are a one-income family, or you know, you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad and the other person is working. So and if you're a writer, you feel that you should be giving more, you should be getting books out there more, making the millions, as everyone keeps on thinking that we make, and we bloody don't. Writing is my second and sometimes my third. Exactly. So think about it like this. Whether or not you've got other jobs, whether or not you're a full-time mom, full-time dad, you need to have a break. Because not only is your writing going to suffer, but your relationships are going to suffer even more. In your relationship, monetizing means basically where you're trying to make more money for yourself. So, you know, it's a lot of people, especially if they are in a situation where they're like, every month it's just ticking over. Do you know what I mean? You're just paying those bills, you're paying what needs to be done, then you've got that small little bit left. And then if you're writing on top of that, and then you've got family saying to you, well, haven't you sold any books yet? Haven't you done this? Haven't you done that? You know what I mean? So you need to look at it and say, I need to have a break, because you're not a side culture. You're not a side hustler. You are the main feature. You are the main feature in your life, in your family's life, and in your writing. You are never a side hustle. And you shouldn't be hustling, because everything that you do comes naturally. If you start to be somebody else who is, okay, like a scammer, they hustle. They hustle, they hustle, they hustle. So think of it like that. If you keep on hustling, you're scamming your own life, you're scamming your words that you're writing, and you're scamming your children's time because you're worried about being that hustler and being like everybody else that is out there saying you should be doing X, Y, and Z. It's going to cause more guilt, it's going to cause more stress and more anxiety. You have relationship issues, your family you'll start getting irritable with each other, you'll get a bit snappy, the flowing of the writing doesn't come, that frustrates you even more, lack of sleep, not eating correctly, eventually getting sick. That's the reality. When you push yourself to such a point that you can't see the windows around you, you can't see the pen in front of you because you're so wrapped up in being something you're not. It's just going to burn you out. And the more you do it, the more burnout you get, the longer it takes to come back from that. So I burnt out with my artwork. I have a studio up in my house. I have not physically done any artwork for about a year. So I sculpt. That is my thing. I love to sculpt. But I had so much pressure from art galleries and things like that, I fell out of love because people were wanting more. And I was like, I can't give more. But even then, nothing's selling. So I can't afford to buy the stuff to make what I'm doing. So it's this constant circle. And eventually you fall out of love with it. Don't get to that stage because we all come to writing because, let's face it, we didn't pick it. It picked us. You all had these visions in your head, you had stories in your head that needed to either come out and play, help you heal, help somebody else with their story. So it's not the easy route. Being a writer is not an easy route. It is painfully hard. And, how does one deal with that doubt? So actually, you should watch last week's video. That was all about imposter syndrome. And I will also send you the workbook for that. So that is I think that was a good opener one, the first one that we did for imposter syndrome. I think it helped you guys balance a bit without overwhelming. So.
Sorry, I wanted to say something, especially with last week and now with what you're talking about. I think where and why did you start? I think that's what keeps me going and gives me I need to rest now so that I can continue. So I always remind myself, why did I start? Why did I put the pen to paper and go for it? So
the why is a huge thing. I have a thing called the onion, and it's all about pulling apart an onion to get down to your final cause of your why and why you're doing it. So if anybody wants that, I can send it to you. I use it a lot with people with mindfulness and stuff. It helps them get to the base of why they're really doing this, because we can all say, well, actually, I'm doing this because I like to write, or I want to X, Y, you know what I mean? There's all these reasons, but what is your true why? My true why was it helped me heal. That was my true why. It helped me come in from the outside and look at certain aspects that had happened throughout my life. So for me, I could look in and actually forgive myself because it wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? So having a proper why in place, like you'll have people saying, I'm doing it for my family. That's great, but that's not your why. I'm sorry, that is not your why. It will never be that. It's something deeper. And it's facing that and peeling back those layers until you get to the proper core. And unfortunately, a lot of people think it's selfish when you don't say, oh, it's for my family, or it's for this, or it's for that. It's about you. And that's what you all need to realize. It's about what you need, not anyone else. Because when you do it for other people, that can also fall out of love with it as well. Because you got the pressure of, well, oh, if I disappoint them, oh God, so you're putting on this even more pressure, and it doesn't work. Toast, exactly. Burnt toast is my that and electrical smells are my thing. That's my little friend, my aneurysm, that does that to me. But burnt toast is a number one sign for stress and anxiety. So if you are smelling burnt toast, you need to take a step back. You need to really take a break, because your nervous system and your brain and everything is constant. It's in a flight mode all the time. It's fighting all the time. And when you're under that much pressure, you start to get the burning smells and the smelling of burnt toast. That is not good. You need to find a way to relax, whether it's walking, meditation, cooking, whatever's your jam. You need to find that space to relax, because it's a warning sign. It's your body telling you need to calm. And if you don't calm, it can get worse. So please, if you keep on getting burnt toast, please, that smell or electrical smells, you need to take a break. Whether it's for a few days or whatever, you need to take a break. You need to find some way throughout your day to have time just for you. That means whether you sit in the bedroom and listen to some music you like, do it. But don't ignore the symptoms. Don't ignore the signals that your body is shouting at you for. Because when you ignore those, it goes into bigger things, and you don't want that. And if anyone is like at that level of the stress is that bad, reach out to me. I'm trained in this stuff. So reach out to me and I will try and help you. So we got our little brain person there. Human writer bingo. How many of those can you tick? Good. I'm glad. You ticked more than 3. Anyone else? 0.5. Okay. 3. See? Exactly. It's no one is perfect. In life, if you are trying to get perfection, you're going to disappoint yourself. Plain and simple. Unless you want to be a robot. Exactly. So, you are not broken. Here we go. Quick response. My writing life right now feels like quick. Go. Apps.
I feel like I'm on the 11th cloud. I'm not underwater, I'm not above water, I'm on a different planet.
Get that. A breath. Roller coaster. Stagnant. Okay. Right. Yes. Well, you've just started a new job, which is congratulations, by the way, for that. Listen, sometimes you have to just take a moment and deal with everyday life. It will come back when it's needed. just because the fact that you've already published a book is a huge thing. That's a huge thing. It doesn't mean you have to keep on writing, but it doesn't mean that you have to give up. You could just do short stories, give yourself a bit of a breather, like little 1,000-word stories, 500 words. Give yourself a breather that you still feel like you're involved in the writing, but you're not writing to the extent of a novel, but you're still in it. You're still keeping the mind active. And I think this is also why we created the monthly competition of the prompt. It's to keep people outside of their box, keep them kind of flowing in a different way, because we can get very stagnant in our normal way of writing. And I've just had the biggest kick up the bottom ever, because my writing club, they gave me sci-fi, and I don't write sci-fi. And it's 500 words, and the prompt was a single moment in time. 500 words, sci-fi, single moment in time. When you don't write these things, when you don't write certain genres, it's chaos. So having these little things, like maybe even a picture of a door, or just a picture, and write about an imaginary land, 500 words. You might not be writing your book, but if you wrote all these little short stories, you could put them into a book and publicize. You don't have to go to the extent of 100,000 words. It doesn't make you lesser of an author. Look at people who write poetry, people who write short novellas, Mills and Boons. Look how tiny those things were. It's still writing, and it's still something that gets out of your head. Exactly. The pressure and putting yourself against other writers isn't healthy. We all have different writing styles. We all have different life experiences, but it doesn't make us lesser than anyone else. It just makes us being able to talk about different things from different perspectives. And that's good, because each one of us brings a different thing to the field, and that is needed. Who wants to be the same? I don't. I'm too quirky. I don't want to be like everyone else, and I'm sure as hell you don't want to be like anyone else. We're making these rods for our backs for no reason. Right. I want you to list what is really draining you. Give me 3 things. What is your number one draining of your energy at the moment? It doesn't necessarily have to be writing, but it's whatever's happening in your life. Oh, I feel you. Oh God, I feel you. Anyone else? If you want to say it out loud, you can. You don't have to put it in the comments, whatever. Society expectations, finances, yes. All of it, my many we can't just spend all day writing. I know, I wish. Time leaks, comparisons, emotions, emotional writing. Right, that's a big one. If you are writing emotional, hard scenes, especially if it's healing of a trauma or something, reading the same chapter, oh God, don't even talk to me about that. Like, my editing hell at the moment. It's driving me bonkers. And I'm doing everything else apart from doing my editing. I'm like chasing away from it. I'm like, no, not today. Can't deal with it. But listen, all of us are in the same boat. But if you are writing an emotionally trauma-induced book, or or a paragraph or anything, you need to make sure that you are grounding yourself, that you are finding a space to feel safe, because if you keep that in, it's going to fester. Okay? So if any of you are going through that, come speak to me, because I have tools to help you not suck it into yourself. Because if you keep it in, it's going to cause even more trauma, and the victim that you might have been, then you become the victim to the victim to the victim. You become your own victim to yourself. It's a natural progression. If you are trying to write about these things and you don't know how to kind of go in and read it and write it without absorbing the trauma again, it's a difficult one. But there is techniques for any type of thing to be able to make sure you're grounded and finding a safe space. Now, I write in a certain place in my house. That's it. It's like one place I will write. That is my space. I will come in here and I will write. And when I'm finished, I close the door. That's it. It's done. So you have to have a space where you can kind of, you've got to think of it as a job. So you switch off. As soon as that door closes, that's it. You switch off. Because we can't keep on absorbing traumas and painful writings that a lot of us write. You know, some of us write some really traumatic stuff, dark fantasy, you know, murders, thrillers, all these types of things. We have to have coping mechanisms to deal with it. Because I don't know if any of you are like me, but things play in my head. And that's why I can never read horror, because I would freak myself out too much because my imagination is crazy. So horror for me, I need to make a space. Yes, it is the best thing I did, was having a space to be able to just close the door on it and not have to worry that it's in my lounge or at my dining table. You know, you got to take away those like energy that you're passing through. So here you go. What would help your writing energy most right now? Even if it's not something you think you'd usually bug you, it's something, yeah. Exactly. I understand, Michelle. It's a hard one. So if you could have a magic wand, what is it that you need for your writing at this very moment? Yes, admin, social media is drowning me. Yep. Hour of solitude and no distractions. Yep. Anyone else? And 5. Yeah. So look, if you look at everything that we've spoken about so far, you've all had the similar things. Every single one of us. We've all got the same doubts, the same stress of I should be like X, Y, and Z. Admin is hard. Social media is even a bigger killer, you know. And where we have this, we have to have a presence all the time within it. Tomorrow, we have Estelle coming to talk to us about social media, which is going to be really good. But social media, you need to try and make it fun. You need to try and schedule prior, like a month's worth of scheduling. Just there, it's done, and you don't worry about it. More time. So my suggestion there is book yourself out an hour a week, like it is a meeting. It's that important. And everyone can take 10, 15 minutes, an hour in a week to just have their own time. And I don't care how you put it in your diary, whether it's like having a meeting with Joe Blogs or whoever, but that meeting is with you. It is an invitation to yourself to go and breathe. No writing, no worrying about, oh, well, if I go for this hour, life is going to explode. No, it's not. Life is going to carry on ticking on. So we have to step out of this guilt of taking time, because we have this guilt from society. You're supposed to be busy all the time. You're supposed to be climbing, these big mountains, and you should be paddle boarding and have abs. That's not life. It's not life. Life is messy. Life is hectic. So you please have to find yourself a diary and schedule your writing. And if you can't write that day, that's okay. Go do something else creative that is inspiring for you, that makes you feel better. Because then when you come back to the writing, you'll feel even more, focused and wanting to do it. But don't keep on pushing yourself to write from a space of stress, comparing yourself to others, and trying to be a hustler. So when someone says to you, oh, side hustle, think about a scammer and how much they work to take your money. Do you want to be that person? Exactly. And when you see all these big TBRs that people do, 20, 50 books a month, don't worry about it. I'm lucky if I do one, because I have so much going on. If I can read one book a month, hallelujah. You know what I mean? It's like, but don't compare yourself to people's journey on social media, because you never know what's going on in the background for them. A lot of them fake it till they make it, as we know. Listen to audiobooks, just feel part of my hobby that I like, and just sit and read a normal book would be great. So do it. Go and take a time for yourself. I'm going to stop sharing this for now, because who has a hobby? Anyone have a hobby? Anyone do things that they like?
I have so many hobbies that we would stay here all night.
So what is your number one go-to?
I like drawing or doing digital arts, crocheting.
How often do you do it?
Sorry?
How often do you do it?
Oh, no, not at all at the moment. I write now.
All right. Who's next?
Astrology, astronomy, everything got to do with the stars if I want to escape something. And then definitely drawing and
Okay.
getting lost in drawing and playing with my cats. That's your hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my kind of heaven. Oh, hello. Oh, she's so cute. So anyone else? Journaling, reading, writing, painting. Okay, let's take out the journaling and reading. Everyone, let's take that out. What else do you do for yourself? Do you have a pamper day? Do you go on a hike? Do you go and get your hair done? What pamper do you do for yourself? Anyone? Anyone have a pamper day, a pamper month, like once a month?
Once a month, I go for a massage. I'm sorry, you need to get all that nonsense out of you. I go for a massage, and yes, that's how I ground myself.
So
Touch me appropriately.
Yes, and I relate to that, because with my conditions, I need to be massaged at least once a month. But my thing is, I'm also a facial yoga practitioner by trade. So I do that a lot, because it helps with inflammation and stuff like that. So it really helps me. Who else? Does anybody do anything? Natasha, you don't do anything, right?
Go for a run.
Used to garden. What stops you from gardening, may I ask? Go for a massage, definitely. Adila, what made you stop gardening? Start right fields and just lay in a bubble bath. Laying in a bubble bath is bliss. Everyone should do that. Definitely. Okay, so you started writing, so you stopped gardening. So every single one of you, your homework is going to be doing one thing next week for yourself without writing, without your normal routine, one thing. Look at Natasha, I can see it. She's like, no. It's like the fear overtook her face. So dance, interrupt the anxiety and dance. Definitely. I don't care if it's in your kitchen or in your garden under the moonlight. Do it. Natasha, dance in your kitchen. Put on your favorite tune from when you were a child, when you were a teenager. I want you to put on your favorite tunes and I want you to dance and have bloody fun. Seriously. That is your that's your homework for the week. I want you to just let loose and give yourself a moment to just not have to worry about anything else. Just dance and have a bit of fun. Michelle, you got to do something. Not running, that's your normal. Running is your normal, so we're not giving you running.
Oh, that's a pity. My husband was going to drag me out tomorrow morning.
But that's your normal. So I'm trying to think of things that you haven't done in maybe a really long time. Do you know what I mean?
I'll do some drawing this week. How's that? Work
That's
on some character art.
Perfect. Yes. Listen, guys, just because you're not writing doesn't mean that you're being productive. Doing all these things, making nice food, going for walks, dancing, driving, whatever, it all accumulates and it all feeds your inner self. And then you write better. It flows easier. And you feel like a breath of fresh air comes over you because it's and I tell you now, you'll be like, why did I stop doing this? Because I think as we get older, we forget that we are allowed to have fun. Things take over, bills, dramas, kids, houses, mortgages, all these things take over. But we are still able to have fun. We've got to stop denying ourselves this thing that we have to be this certain person and got everything together. It doesn't work. If anything, it leads to burnout and heartache. And heartache, not just for people around you, but for yourself. Because you're going to turn out one day on your deathbed and you're going to go, I've got regrets. Why didn't I do this? Why did I let the fears stop me from living a life that isn't like Tony or John or Michelle down the road? You know what I mean? We have to have the time, because if we don't do it and we have children, they are learning from their parents. So they think that they've got to be this certain way as well because mommy and daddy are like that. And I'm not being funny, but the children that I've seen and that I know of at 5 years old at the moment, they're full of anxiety and they're full of stress. And that is only due to social media coming into play, because every adult feels that they need to be a certain person. When I was growing up, there was no social media. It was, there was no one telling you how to be a certain person. You weren't comparing yourself to anybody. So when social media now comes into play, if you keep on comparing yourself and keep on trying to hustle like Sarah down the road who has no kids, who has no husband, who has no other job, are you going to win or are you going to fail? So don't keep on beating yourself up because you've only got 100 viewers or that person's got 1,000 views. I would rather have 10 views than 1,000 views that don't engage with me. Human beings, you're allowed to mess up. You're allowed to have days off. And the days off help with your mental health. They help with actually moving forward in your life, funnily enough, because you've given yourself time to rest. Stop trying to beat the clock. Stop trying to put timings on things. Enjoy the moment. Life is short. Enjoy the moments that we have and stop being this comparing culture and comparing South African indie authors to overseas authors because we're a totally different breed. We have different structures and problems in this country compared to what they have. So you have to stop looking at the people overseas and thinking, well, they've got their stuff together. They've got more help over there with regards to things. They don't have people trying to scam them every 2 seconds. And knowledge is shared. So please, if anything, if you haven't listened to anything tonight, just please do yourself a favor and stop looking at other people and comparing your life. Because every single one of you is a rising star. You are all unique. You are all absolutely beautiful people. And you need to be kinder to yourself. Connecting with each other is going to spread a ripple effect. And it's going to make you feel better. And speak your truth when you are having a tough time. Say, guys, I'm having a really crap time. I need some guidance. That's what this is here for. This is a safe space. This is a space where we can let out emotions. We can let out everything that's going on. And you're not going to be judged. And you know what? You'll most probably think, oh God, it wasn't that big of a deal. Because we catastrophize things. So we have like 3 minutes left. If anyone has any questions, speak now. You will be getting a workbook. I've created a workbook for you guys. So you've got something going forward. And I am here if you need extra help. Don't be scared to ask. This is what this was made. We didn't do this for no reason. We've done this to create a safe ecosystem. Great.
I show you just what the example children show us how to relax.
Say that again. Oh, look. So sweet. Very sweet. Or whoever. Be the first you. Yes, always be the first you. Because no one's better than you. You're a competition with yourself. At the end of the day. You're never going to want anyone else's problems, put it that way. Deep the reminder, thank you. It's a pleasure. Listen, life is tough enough. We don't need to make it harder for ourselves when we don't need to. And that's the truth. We all write amazing work. Whether it's short stories, whether it's long stories, the main thing is you're writing. Okay? It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I'll speak to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.